Hey guys, welcome back to Rogue Trader. I'm Robert RPG, and um, I'm excited. This game's pretty fun so far. I'm still getting a feel for like how things work. Mainly like all the stuff you can do, all the abilities, the talents, the all this stuff, like how they work in combination, all the terms they use. But it's been pretty fun so far. I'm sure it's going to be frustrating at points. It's going to get a lot harder. I've already had to make somewhat tough decisions. Um, but right now, I think we've retaken the ship basically. Um, no wait, I think what we're trying to do, so the it's being like invaded by, we're in the warp, so it's been being invaded by like demons, and there's like demonic influence. Um, so I think we've gotten rid of the um there was a demon that was summoned, so we got just killed the demon, and the Master of Whispers, who's the traitor who triggered all this stuff, escaped. So we'll see what happens with him. All right, so we've got four members. We got Abelard, who's the Seneschal, I think that's what you call him. This is me, Tristan the Vile. Idira, who's the Psyker, and Argenta, who is a Sister of Battle. So we're gonna level up. So
Fate beckons me.
yeah, so let's level up here. I'm trying to figure out how it works. So I think it already, you get to choose. It kind of goes around the wheel here, and then at some points you can choose stuff. Like usually it's skills or talents, or no, it's what is it? Yeah, you get to choose skills, talents, or characteristics. So it's increase skills, increase characteristics, or choose a talent. So it looks like we're choosing a characteristic here. I don't know what do I use willpower for? Toughness. All right, so I think fellowship and willpower are like what I need to. I think willpower. Let's increase that. I think there's some kind of abilities that I have that. Let me see. Anything that uses willpower. Bring it down. Voice of command. What do I use like willpower for? Uh, I'm a heretical follower. It's funny. I don't think I have anything that uses. Yeah, I don't have anything that uses willpower. Oh wait, officers use willpower. No. Okay, I don't have anything yet that uses willpower, but all right. So let me see. Hmm. I mean, so I think I'm normally at 40 for weapon skill. Should I up my toughness? I don't know. Let's do willpower. Let's just do willpower. I think that's good. And then, oh, we get a talent. Okay. All right. So what do I want? I want something common talent. I get a common talent. All allies. What is brace for impact? Is that what I have? Navy officer. Okay. I think it's talent, right? No. Find it. Brace for impact. Okay. For one round, the Navy officer and their allies in a 3-cell radius gain +2 deflection for each archetype taken by the Navy officer. +2. They also cannot be forcibly moved or overpenetrated. Alright, so pick willpower and then. What is overpower? What was that? Hold on. All allies affected by brace for impact gain an extra turn with 0 AP and 3 MP. Increase their cover efficiency by. I guess get into cover, maybe? I think getting to cover might be good. I don't know, there's so many things to pick. I don't know, man. I don't know what I should get. Dual weapon combat. Character can attack with the second weapon either in their current weapon set in addition to the usual one attack per round. I don't know what. Nimble. I have no idea. So many options. I don't know. Let's boost my. Let's do get into cover. Right? Yeah, that's good. Get into cover. Maybe, I don't know. Do I have a lot of shooty guys? I think I do have a lot of shooty guys. I have Adira. I have the Sister of Battle. What's her name? What's her name? Whatever. The Sister of Battle. I don't know. Character hiding behind cover has a chance to avoid enemy range attacks. Full cover. 60. Although, chance to hit a character behind cover may vary depending on. What is cover penetration, though? Oh, penetrates cover. So if it's partial cover, gain +30. So that means partial cover only grants the enemy 5%. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Perfect timing. Um, all right, that's good. That's good enough. All right, so we have Abelard. So Abelard, we need. I don't know what. Thick skin's pretty good. Oh man, so many, so many. Dude, there's so many talents to choose from. All right, so I think man, there's so many. Okay, I think thick skin's good, or impetus. Let's do impetus. Okay, what should we boost up? Let's do toughness. All right, let's just do agility. Why not? Oh, wait, toughness. Let's do toughness, why not? Or weapon skill, let's just do weapon skill. Alright, impetus. Okay, good. Complete. So I boosted up his charge, so he has longer charge distance, does more damage with the charge. So, yeah, should be pretty good. Alright, Adira. She's characteristic. Alright, I need someone smarter, so I'm gonna bump up intelligence, I think. Yeah, I need someone that's smart, because nobody else is smart. Right? I don't know. Alright, we need a talent, so... I think this second sight, that's pretty good. It increases the range. Dude, I don't know. That's pretty good. At the beginning of every combat, the Psyker's allies gain plus 15% chance, critical hit chance. The first critical hit removes this effect. First dodge attempt of every enemy in combat suffers a... I don't know. What's our dodge? She can already dodge pretty well. I think I want something to boost. Alright, I think I want to do Edge of Fate. I don't know, man. On an ally. Divination Psychic Power on an ally. That character... when the ally suffers a critical, it becomes normal. I don't know. I don't think I have anything that... Divination on an ally. I don't have any psychic powers that do that. Visions of Doom? That might be good. Visions of Doom, I think, is pretty good. Okay, so I think I'll do that or Second Sight. Psychic Barrage. Ballistic skill, I think, is only... He only has, like, +3 for ballistic skills. So I don't know if I want to do a Psychic Barrage. Second Sight. Perception bonus. So that'd be 4. So it'd be like 14, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I can keep her. Let's do that so I can keep her far away. And then. Alright, cool. Okay, Argenta. What should I give Argenta? Alright, characteristic. What is. Probably ballistic skill, right? Yeah, I think ballistic skill. We gotta up that. Okay, so she'll have. Be at 50. Right? Yeah. And then. Should she be a combat Medicae? Should I do that? I mean, who else? 35. Yeah. I think, What does disturbed mean? Disturbed. Each stack grants a -10 penalty to any willpower or fellowship test. Alright, I think, what is this stuff? Base skill Medikai. What does that do? The character gains +7 Medikai. The character may improve the skill even if their archetype... Alright. What was it that I wanted? Combat Medikai, I think. I might do that. What's Medikai? Intelligence? What's her intelligence? 30? She's not that smart, though. Okay, so 8 plus 8% critical hit chance. The bonus is doubled against enemies from which a soldier is protected by cover at the moment of attack. So potentially plus 16%. Alright, whatever, let's do that one. I think it's pretty good. Alright.
I am not afraid to embrace the revelations that make others shriek and cover. That is the difference between me and ignorant filth. Time to leave my mark upon the galaxy. Powers unseen uncover my path.
Yeah.
Bravo! Master Helmsman, system status report. Oh, let me check the stream. By the Emperor, it's a seneschal, living and breathing. The white-haired man with sickly pale skin salutes you. Oh, he's a white-haired man. Well, there's a tricky question. The whole place is so overgrown with foul wickedry will be scrubbing it off. The vid screens for the throne knows how long. How did you people survive in here? Man glances around the bridge. Must have been Providence. Must have been Providence. I better have been the Emperor's.
not someone else's. When they barged in here, the ones with the Master of Whispers, some officers charged them. But it wasn't even a fight. I grabbed whoever I could and dragged them behind. The cogitators. Then I prayed for a rescue.
We need to reestablish contact with the Navigator's Sanctum. It is our only chance of escaping from the war. Words seem to knock the officers out of their stupor, and the area around you fills with voices and commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing, one of the survivors buckling under the stress. Abelard cuffs the crying officer without even looking. Restore the Vox channel to the Navigator's Sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for translation to real space. Abelard pauses for a few seconds before turning towards you. Tristan the Vile. You may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You are the only one who speaks for House von Valencius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you more than anyone else deserve to take her place in the ritual that is about to commence. He directs your attention upward to the throne that sits at the apex of this tall staircase. I'm ready. Begin the ritual. Hey guys, is it, so, SmileRen asks, is it possible to play a true heretic? I'm trying, I'm at follower, so, I'll try, we'll see. I think I might want to go down that path. I'm thinking heretic or at least iconoclast. I think that's kind of, because, I mean, my character's named Tristan the Vile, so, you know. Okay, Aladdin. Aladdin is advertising his Discord username. Okay, cool, thanks. Thanks for calling my stream pretty cool. It's, I just started with Rogue Trader, so, glad you like it. Okay, so let's get on with this ritual here. The image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerous currents invisible to mortal eyes, as if whatever is beneath this thin shell is constantly changing while still remaining the same. It has taken the guise of Theodora, but the false rogue trader's eyes reveal the entity's true, surreal nature. One of Theodora's eyes is engulfed in otherworldly fire, the other, a vessel of ancient evil, bores into you. A voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears, and this voice booms with all the horrors of the warp. Did you stand in the path of another destiny only to steal it? You accepted the call of the primordial truth and claimed that fate as your own. So be it. I wove the threads of destiny and held out my hand to you when the flame arose in your path. You took it, and in so doing, sealed your fate. In the future, you will repay me for this boon in full. Okay. Okay, so I've set my destiny, apparently. It resonates and merges with the voices that have already dug their foul roots into your consciousness. A moment later, you realize that all these voices are the myriad manifestations of the same call that has finally invaded your mind. Are you the one behind all that's happening here? The one who dressed me and guided me out of the flames? Indeed, for the boundless truth encompasses all. Merely one part of it reached out to you, and answer you did. You could become the new champion. Conrad Voigtver. Your head begins to spin and vicious drops slither down your cheeks. You blink and you are no longer looking at Theodora. It is the traitor. I forgot how to pronounce this guy's name. Voigtver? Just as fluid and ephemeral as the previous apparition. The same terrifying voice seethes from his lips. The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, a relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured and the steps chosen, and yet you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place. I see you, on the day when the final dawn rises over the Iron World. I see you by my side on that day, the day of my resurrection. Adira. The image is scattered by invisible sorcerer's winds, and you see Adira, her eyes aglow with the same sinister flame. Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. A thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. The thread that will guide you in the weapon of our return to me. A cavalcade of hazy glimpses of a future yet unknown passes before your eyes. A flash of crimson, purple. The images replace one another in a violent kaleidoscope without ever letting you get a proper look at them. Through the rippling mirage, you see a twisted image of Abelard, the loyal seneschal of the dynasty. The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine. I don't know if that was all the same voice. I think that was all supposed to be like the same voice. I don't know. I think it was all the same voice, like that same like demonic voice. So it wasn't Abelard and Adira, but Master Helmsman Ravor. Ravor turns around and looks up at you. He hesitates for a few moments, then addresses Abelard, who is standing next to you. Seneschal, the Navigator's sanctum is silent. Oh no, this guy.
Seneschal, the Navigator's sanctum is silent. The Vox signal is stable, which means...
Abelard nods absent-mindedly. Navigator gave his life battling the storm. They nearly claimed the von Valancius flagship. We will honor his memory along with that of all who died this day. Master Helmsman Ravor. Ravor does not look away. He's giving you a hard stare, his white brows furrowed.
Seneschal, will you tell us now? Who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty. By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision, it is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the warrant of trade, and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim... have you lost your tongues? Hail your lord. It is because of his toils that we all still live. The deed is done, Master. With my apologies. I meant to say Lord Captain.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members. remained. For the second in line to the rogue trader dynasty survived. At the cost of many sacrifices made by the Lord Captain in the name of his own ambitions.
Sister Argenta. She's daughters of the Emperor. She's one of the blessed Adeptus Sororitas. Argenta traveled in the void ship of Theodora von Valancius. On the fateful day when the vessel was attacked by the servants of Chaos, she joined the future Lord Captain and helped repel the attack. Sister proved herself to be both a dauntless warrior and a reliable comrade in arms, ready to okay. Deep shadows of wariness can be seen on Abelard's face. Though the old officer's eyes are keen, they rake over you from head to toe. He frowns, mutters something, then nods to himself. Well then, your lordship. Cannot help but notice that the seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. His hesitation brings an involuntary smirk to your face, as though someone else entirely is gloating at the old officer's confusion. Seeing your smile, Abelard pulls himself together. Why would I... You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will also be their first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by the deputies, while others go unfulfilled entirely. And now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless crews. I could say, wait, Abelard, there's an altogether more pressing problem. I do not wish to be the rogue trader. I kind of do want to be the old rogue trader. How did we come to lose so many officers? It appears the heretics were deliberately targeting the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for and where they could be found, which is unsurprising given that their informant on board was our own Master of Whispers. Abelard grimaces. What is on the agenda for this meeting? Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I am still receiving updates from across the ship, and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take a gargantuan effort. Even so far as you personally negotiate with the authorities of the system we are currently in. So prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses, your lordship. Take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who work 6 decks away from the bridge, and they in turn will have the honor of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain. We succeeded in tracking down Voigtver. Abelard grits his teeth. No, Captain, Lord Captain. In all the commotion, his trail went cold. Our people are still on the hunt for him, and any mutineers who may still be skulking in the ship's many corridors, but frankly, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that we are now one shuttle short. I am afraid it will be some time before he answers for all that he has wrought. Should I say this? Should I say I don't want to be rogue trader? I'm ready to start the briefing. Summon the officers. With a gesture, Abelard relays the order to the adjutants at the far end of the magnificent chamber. You have found a consumable item. Grenades, stimulants, medkits, and other consumables can be... Okay. Dozen pairs of eyes bore into you, the expressions revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and wariness. Attention officers, you've been granted an honor. Lord Captain Tristan the Vile von Valancius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. I could say this. Yawn. I could yawn and say, I haven't the time to be listening to every last officer on this hulking rig. Abelard, give me a précis. What are the major problems and what needs to be done? Alright, well, I need to learn who all these officers are. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard. As you wish, your lordship. Abelard points to a tall, slender woman whose body seems to contain as many implants as it does flesh. Oh my god. Vijdis Suri Ada of the Ptolemy line. Our new Voxmaster. Which one is that? This one? I think it's this one. It is an honor to serve your lordship. The Voxmaster offers a deep bow. Aboard this vessel you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I am responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communications between you and them, as well as external sources. I'm your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. Besides her is Ravor, the Master Helmsman. He steers our ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us, to ensure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or a pirate ship. The bearded man with the pale, almost transparent skin, large, dark circles under his eyes, and a dour expression that seems to hardwired into his face, gives a sullen nod.
Hail, Lord Captain. Hello, Captain. This here ship's as good as home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come to any grief.
And lastly, High Factotum Janus Danrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. Dressed in an embroidered jacket, the heavy-set man with oiled hair offers an obsequious smile and bows. It is an honor, your lordship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. In the second row, we have the three officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery aboard, the Infernus Master, whose crew work to prevent and extinguish fires on the ship, and lastly, the Drives Master, servant of the Omnissiah. Is that these three back here? Three officers salute you. The Infernus Master does so with the confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervousness. That's not good. The Drives Master offers a salute resembling a dance, involving the complicated manipulation of all the tech priest mechadendrites. Mechadendrites are the things you can't really see here, but oh, there it is. All the things coming out the back. This guy. Thank you, Abelard. Greetings to you all. I serve as your pleasure, Lord Captain. Alright, so what do I want to say? Let's listen to the helmsman. Should we listen to the helmsman? Because he should know, like, where we are, right? Master Helmsman Revor.
Right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship's sound, more or less, but without an engineer prime and navigator who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. If we try to set so much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what will happen first, our warp drive being torn to pieces, or all of us melting into the bulkheads.
Foxmaster Vigdis.
Your lordship, if you would allow me to interject. When we arrived in this system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all the available communication channels in the region. One of them was a Navis Nobilite station. The station maintains a complete Vox silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck. A true blessing from the God Emperor.
What is a Navilis Nobilite station? An ancient organization of noble mutant families whose genes allow them to safely guide warp-capable void ships through the Immaterium. Okay, so that's where we get our navigator, I guess. A sharp bolt of pain lances through your skull, as if in response to what you just heard. You understand that it is not the God Emperor you should thank for such good fortune. The words of the demon that appeared before you during the translation to real space echo in your mind. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances, the thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility, the thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. Master Helmsman to Raymar.
If I were you, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'd be eyeing up asteroids to use as your new residence. In slightly less shitty news, we can go round and round this system till our heads are swimming, as long as the promethium and supplies last.
I think promethium is the fuel.
And if any thick as Grok's shit lowlights come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out. So don't you worry on that score.
I don't know, I keep changing up his accent, but... Listen, the Master of Ordnance was kind of nervous, so let me hear from him. Ashar Nightalama. The Master of Ordnance gives you a gloomy look. No, my job's simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire when I'm told, but just ask anyone. We've got no able crew, no Lord Captain. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. So what? Comes the officer's hostile and bitter reply. It is as if a dam has burst inside and all his pent-up emotions are rushing out of him. The ship's in ruins. Every second officer's dead, and now we've got a green Lord Captain who's supposed to lead us to void knows where. Silence! The bridge's magnificent glass panes seem to tremble under the force of Abelard's roar. Enforcers, seize this mutineer. I have another consumable. Alright. Abelard grunts. If only one officer out of the whole lot has fallen to pieces, then that's not bad at all. Your lordship, I do humbly apologize on behalf of the entire crew. What would you have us do with that Master of Ordnance? The former Master of Ordnance, I should say. Besides find a replacement, that is, for we already have one lined up. I could execute him. Okay, Iconoclast. Release him. I have no intention of punishing a man for a moment of weakness, not after the terrible attack we endured. Experienced masters of ordnance are few and far between, so for that reason he may remain in post. I leave his punishment at your discretion, Abelard. What should I do, guys? What do you guys think? What would you do? Which one of these should I do? Should I kill him? Should I release him? Should I leave his punishment up to Abelard? I kind of don't want to leave his punishment up to Abelard because it should come from me. His punishment should come from me. Yeah, I don't want to kill him, but I don't want Abelard to. I think I'll do this. Stand down, release him. I have no intention of punishing a man for a moment of weakness, not after the terrible attack we have endured. Abelard stares unblinkingly at the Master of Ordnance. Cease your sniveling. You disgrace yourself and your entire clan. Enough. The hysterics are over. Let us resume. Master of Ordnance stands up, wiping the blood from his broken nose. His face is a picture of shock. What just happened seems to be dawning on him only now, and the knowledge of the fate he so narrowly escaped. Alright, let's talk to the High Factotum. High Factotum Janus Dienrun. We are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your lordship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given into the tech priest's hands for attention, and that all lost supplies are replaced. There is only one resource I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is people. We have lost more than 2,000 crew members, and unfortunately, this number is not confined to the scum from the lower decks, which are easily replaced, but also includes trained professionals. We will be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Cad Minoris. However, the planet, the whole system in fact, belongs to the Winterscale Rogue Trader dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiations at this level are a matter for the Rogue Trader. It's me. Especially true given Caligos Winterscale's Caligos Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later, and the kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planet. Rumbles Abelard, frowning. Okay, let's listen to the Infernus Master's report. Yes, Lord Captain. The tall young man bows his head in deference. I can report that all fires across all decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment in terms of material losses and crew casualties has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factotum. The post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next three deputies expired in the line of duty. Abelard remarks in a low voice pitched for your ears only. The lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. Okay. Drives Master, I will hear from you now. Ziratalar. Voice distorted by a Vox retranslator emerges from under the tech priest Scarlet Hood. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this... I can't do a Vox retranslator distortion. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this noble void ship destroyed the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine is entrusted into my charge, is unharmed. Thank the Omnissiah, but its spirit mourns its dead brethren. We have not yet identified a prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. With great sorrow, I must also report that the Engineer Prime, overseer and spiritual authority of all tech priests on board, fell in battle. The Magos was betrayed by the little flesh that remained part of him, a most terrible loss. There is no one among my comrades aboard whose experience and comprehension of the secret protocols equals that of the fallen Magos. We require a replacement, and as soon as possible. Would someone care to translate the esteemed Drives Master's words? I see, thank you. The tech priest bows her head. To summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew members, and we require a new Engineer Prime and Navigator. Is this all that is preventing us from continuing the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain. But bear in mind, this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's systems must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station, home to the only dockyard in the sector. But we will never reach Footfall without first solving these 3 immediate problems. What can you tell me about the system in which we currently find ourselves? I cede to the Voxmaster on this point, Mistress Toloman. We are in the Reichad star system, and our voyage here was undertaken on the orders of your lordship's predecessor. There are 3 inhabited bodies in this system, and our attempts to send Vox messages have produced confounding results. The Navis Nobilite station has not simply failed to answer. It seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we did receive a distress signal from the prison planetoid in the system, and Rykad Minoris itself is also not responding to our hails. But what is most alarming is that our augurs have intercepted signals from the surface that seem to indicate ongoing hostilities on the planet. Situation is not very encouraging, but without a navigator, a tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go to the planet in the Novice Nobilite station and find out what in the void is going on. Alright, thank you for all your reports. Dismissed. The assembled officers salute you as one. Your lordship, there's one other thing, a confidential matter of the utmost importance. Lady Theodora, Abelard hesitates, your eternally esteemed predecessor, brought the ladyship here to this system for a reason. She was given a secret commission. You perhaps are wondering who has the authority to commission a rogue trader to do anything, and I shall tell you. The Lord Inquisitor, the hand of the Emperor, the chief architect of his will in the Coronos expanse. I came across a strange handwritten letter on Theodora's desk. It was signed XC. You're referring to the contents of the note, that note, I presume. Yes, quite right. XC, Xavier Calcazar. I don't know. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Henrix von Kalox, an interrogator, you understand. All I know is he is somewhere in this system, that we must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, then deliver him to Footfall in the Furibundus system. Finding him without any more information to go on will be difficult indeed, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in this system, either Novus Nobilite or the governor of Rykad Minoris, may know something.
That is all of it, your lordship. You have a great deal of work ahead of you, but it is a mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon you must take up the reins of the von Valencia's protectorate. Abelard gives you another scrutinizing look as if trying to gauge how long you will hold out under this mountain of problems. His voice softens slightly, and it seems he's about to offer some words of encouragement. Madeira, Sister Argenta, explain yourselves. The Psyker is suffering some ailment, or dark madness. She insisted on seeing the rogue trader. I judged that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. For a brief moment, Sister Argenta's voice sounds hesitant. I was hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Speak with me when you have time, rogue trader. Madeira's glazed eyes rove over those assembled. One word burst from her lips. Daybreak. Abelard, bring the witch to heel. Madeira, come to your senses. Damn it. Madeira passes her fingers to her temples in desperation. Your lordship, here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future, and it hit me so hard. My head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way, and I can't make out what it is, no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn? And it's ringing and ringing like an echo, like a bell. But if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? We cannot extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Class? No, not yet anyway. The voices are going berserk, all shouting at once. I can't make any sense of it. As soon as I know or sense anything, I'll report it. All right. Lord Captain, if you want me to take a closer look into your future, find me on the bridge and we can talk. Lady Theodora is well served by my whispers on many occasions, and I'm sure you would benefit from them as well. Psyker's bitten lips stretch into a wry smile. There's nothing else of value to report. I declare this briefing concluded. It is time to get to work. Wow, that was a lot of dialogue. Whew. Use the system map in the center. Who's talking to me? Foxmaster Vigilus, okay. Can I sit down again? A faint pale woman stands out among the rest of the crew. There is a thick bundle of cables coming out the back of her skull and disappearing under her ceremonial garment, and you see the grate of a quietly humming vox where her mouth should be. The woman sees you and bows her head in a respectful greeting. How may I serve you, Lord Captain? Connect me to the vessel's main channel. I wish to bolster the morale of my crew. Voxmaster nods obediently and presses several switches on the device she is holding. It is done, Lord Captain. You address the crew with a rousing speech and hear your voice roll through the ship, reaching even the normally quiet corners of the vessel. The broadcast ends, you hear distant shouts of approval. What are the Voxmaster's duties? I am the ears and voice of the Void ship. I supervise several dozen officers and 3 times that number of support personnel. We receive, send, encrypt, and decode all incoming and outgoing messages through the ship's internal and external channels. We also ensure clean communications and the optimal efficiency of the crew's voxcasters. If you ever want to know what worries and concerns your crews are harboring, what your subjects are whispering about in local networks after their watches, and what their leaders are clamoring about over shortwave Vox transmissions, just come and see me. I will satisfy your curiosity. Have the Vox spirits brought you anything interesting lately? Forgive me, Lord Captain. I have no information that would be of interest to you at the moment. That will be all for now. I live to serve, Lord Captain. Bridge officer? Your lordship. Ooh, who's this? Another bridge officer. Abelard.
Lord Captain.
Abelard surveys you briskly but meticulously, as though he's inspecting you for shortcomings. Then he offers a courteous nod. Lord Captain? I'd like to know more about my seneschal.
As you wish, Lord Captain. What would you like to know?
Do you have a family?
I am a widower. I am a father of 4, and if my information is not outdated, a grandfather of 11. My family lives on Dargonus. None of my children express any eagerness or aptitude for serving aboard ship, and I would hardly have insisted that they follow in my footsteps.
Tell me about yourself. What were you before you became Theodora's seneschal?
I used to be an officer in the Navis Imperialis. No, used to be is not quite right. It was not simply a job. It was my calling, the essence of my life. I was proud to serve Lord Captain Theodora, but in my heart and mind, I'm still an officer of the Imperium. I met Lord Captain Theodora on a mission where the Imperial Navy was providing reinforcements to the rogue traders' army on one of the frontier worlds. Our acquaintance was not easy. Working with people outside the Navy hierarchy has never been my strong suit. It was to my great surprise then, that after the mission's completion, I received a referral to leave my service in the Navy and join the rogue traders' personal council. It was a difficult choice for me, but I saw in the offer a chance to serve the interests of humanity even more effectively than in the Navis Imperialis. You do not need me to tell you just how remarkable a person Lord Captain Theodora was. I recognized her at once as a true leader and formidable creative force. One who had built a protectorate amidst the dangers and wildness of the Expanse.
Leaving the Imperial Navy is far from easy. Why were you permitted to quit your post?
You could say there was no one among the naval command who was willing to impede the wishes of the rogue trader. To do so would be to risk their own position and their relationship with Theodora. The Lord Captain possessed certain contacts in the Imperial Navy. Contacts which she used to request help during the conflict on the border world. And which enabled her to make me an offer that resulted in my joining her retinue. Was there something else, Lord Captain?
The way you talk about Theodora, I'm beginning to think you were in love with her.
What? Lord Captain, any allegations of improper feelings or unsanctioned relations are utterly baseless and bordering on the insulting. Utterly baseless.
Thank you, I have no more questions.
Of course.
Let's talk about things that may be useful to me as the rogue trader.
A noble aspiration, Lord Captain. I am ready to acquaint you with all the particulars that interest you.
Outline the situation in the Coronos Expanse for me. What do I need to know and keep in mind?
This is a topic for an official briefing, not a casual conversation. But I will try to answer succinctly. And if you permit, in my own words, the Coronos Expanse is considerably removed from the heart of the Imperium. This means that local warp routes become useless within months. Established pathways are regularly subject to attacks from all kinds of rabble. And in the only major port, the Imperium's frigates find themselves moored alongside pirate vessels. Until recently, the Coronos Expanse could hardly have been called a region of the Imperium. The situation has changed with the arrival of the Lord Inquisitor, but not by much. This place operates under its own rules, you see. More radical, so to speak. But ones that allow for a non-standard approach where there is a promise of victory. The Coronos Expanse is considered rogue trader territory for a reason. Only rogue traders have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted them by the warrant to survive the leap into the unexplored part of the Expanse. And in the event of a successful outcome, to hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier.
Who are the main players I need to be aware of in the Coronos Expanse?
In the first instance, you should treat official representatives of the Imperium with respect. The Expanse may be on the fringes, but it still numbers among the territories of the Golden Throne. The arrival of the Lord Inquisitor has turned the Coronos Expanse into a less wild and uncontrolled region, to the regret of some individuals who had grown inured to the local lawlessness. Rogue traders such as yourself are also servants of the Imperium. They have been accorded special rights and powers. They wield immense authority within their territory, and they enjoy absolute respect in other parts of the Expanse. The most powerful of them are Kalagos Winterscale and Incendia Bastal Chorda. Tread carefully when dealing with either of them.
Yeah.
If we are to speak of unclaimed territory, which is what Footfall is, among the scum that dwells on that handful of asteroids, there are 3 factions that wield considerable influence in the sector. The first is the Kazbala Commission, organized crime in its most primitive form. It holds sway over the Liege of Footfall, and has links to rogue trader Winterscale. The second faction is an offshoot of our shining ecclesiarchy, followers of St. Drusus. They are actively building their forces, and hold influence over rogue trader Chorda. And finally, the third faction, the Explorators, a wing of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They are willing to die and kill for the secrets of the ancient technological heresies that are hidden among the stars of the Coronos Expanse.
Conrad, our previous Master of Whispers, what can you tell me about his betrayal? What do you think he'll do next?
You know, Lord Captain, I am no admirer of fine art. But when we next find ourselves in a civilized port, with time to spare, I will promptly find an artist and commission a portrait of the individual to whom you refer, with a hole between the eyes. Conrad Voigtveer. That he committed his treachery and escaped with his life was an unforgivable oversight. We both served Lord Captain Theodora for many years, and we never saw eye to eye. He was brash. He was never afraid of assuming responsibility, and he willingly took on difficult tasks. I am loath to admit it, but the Von Valancius Protectorate continues to reap the fruits of his labors to this day. His service always garnered my respect. But everything else about him made me want to wring the neck of that two-faced snake. If you are taking comfort in the thought that we will hear no more of Conrad, prepare to be disappointed. You thwarted his plans, his meticulously plotted and nurtured treachery. He is sure to attempt to strike at you, and he will use his contacts and knowledge of the Protectorate to do so. The only question, Lord Captain,
is whether you will be able to anticipate his next steps.
That is all for now.
As you wish, Lord Captain.
I'm going to take my leave until next time, Seneschal.
Lord Captain.
Tall, middle-aged woman. Is she middle-aged? She looks younger. Stares straight ahead, her eyes vacant, as she rubs the implant at her temple. Collar is undone, and one of the clasps is on the verge of falling off. Sensing your presence, Adira turns her head towards you and offers a crooked smile, even as her eyes look right through you. Did you know Theodora von Valencia as well? Adira shakes her head.
None of the officers knew the Lord Captain well. Not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She told me from the off that if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission, I'd be going out through the airlock. I'm not an idiot, so I never stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Only when I was asked. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear her voice.
Adira, about your abilities.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain?
You're a psyker. Psykers are only granted the right to live with the Emperor's blessing. Have you ever been to Terra?
Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not. It's not about the seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your gut, if it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship. And my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra. If they weren't, I wouldn't have lived as long as I have.
Where do you come from?
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best.
Tell me about Lyra.
It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win, from poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me.
I think she said Lyra? Lyra? Is that how you say it?
But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention.
You never finished your story about the first time crossing the warp.
It wasn't... It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right?
How'd you end up in the Rogue Trader service?
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too. As I gawked at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered the guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the von Valancius dynasty.
What did you do before you came to be on the ship?
Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra. There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me, for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
Have you ever been off the ship?
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can. After some Amisec. But don't go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy.
Amasec? What is Amasec? A potent alcoholic drink of varying quality, widely available across the Imperium. Okay.
Of course, Lord Captain.
What's it like being a psyker?
Lord Captain, forgive me. But it would be like talking to a person born blind about colors. I could spend hours explaining, but it wouldn't make any sense to you. Every psyker feels their connection with the warp in their own way. One person might see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a crack. There's no way to close it, no matter how hard I try. I've just had to get used to the whispers from the other side. When I need to use it for work, I listen in more closely. But I usually just try not to notice it.
What would happen if your door burst open?
Well, if the door opens, that means somebody's planning to come in, right? But screw them. They're not coming through. Trust me, I know how to keep my valuable head locked up tight.
Aren't you afraid of losing control?
Only losers who are afraid of their own gift lose control. Or idiots who never figure out what they are before it's too late. Or little kids who want to play around with their shiny new toy. If you don't know the limits of your abilities, or you're always bouncing around in your own head, that's a recipe for disaster.
How do you live with this whispering in your head?
Training, habit, and a little amasec and a couple other things you can get on the lower decks. If you put all those together, it makes things bearable. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear. You know, when life on board gets a little boring. Better than listening to the living, anyhow.
Can you see my future?
All right. That's what I'm here for, after all. So, I'm just going to lean on that door in my head a little more, prick up my ears, and listen to what the warp's got to say about you. If you'll allow it, I can listen right now.
Sure.
All right. Let's hear what they're whispering about you.
Adira laughs, rubs her hands together, and suddenly freezes with a vacant smile on her face, her head slightly tilted. You feel goosebumps appear on your skin, and your collar begin to waver ever so slightly, as if moved by a breeze from a half-open door.
Seek not on firm ground, but in a golden hall suspended in the void. There waits a child without kin, but with a name blind to truth. She draws the brush across the canvas and does not notice that her palette is full not of paint, but of blood. And with each smear, this well does not deplete, but fills and fills up to the brim. One thing is clear. When this vessel overflows, none will remain unstained. Among the blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus. Will you help him, Rogue Trader? But mark that sometimes ignorance is sweeter than oblivion.
Okay, so someone's in red robes is seeking an answer to a question, but he needs to ask a different question. Maybe. But maybe he doesn't want to know the answer to the question, because the question, if he knows the answer, it might lead to oblivion, like destruction.
A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. A chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master, or merely another beast in the pack of his true lord?
Alright, some kind of dog person, or like someone associated with dogs, or chain trails after him. Oh, he breaks, so he frees himself. So he was free, he's kind of freed. So he's seeking another person to serve. Will he serve me?
The glow of dawn bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust. A naive cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. What is one more life to it?
I don't know that one. It's a young person, naive cub. So someone very young, naive, doesn't know a lot about the world.
is trusting someone they shouldn't, who, I don't know.
I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now...
Things are strained between you and Argenta, isn't that right?
The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices. Ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head.
Got a new story for me, Adira?
You bet I do, Lord Captain.
Adira becomes much more animated, and her expression turns slightly dreamy as she recalls one of her stories.
Okay, so, we went to Footfall once? Well, I mean, Lord Captain Theodora went to Footfall a lot. But on that occasion, she took me with her for some reason. My day had gotten off to a bad start. My head had been yammering since I woke up, but there was nothing else for it. I had to go. We arrived at the place, and what a place! All the gentlemen and ladies dressed to kill, showing off their encrusted implants, all clustered around little tables. Well, turned out it was a gaming den. And not just any gaming den, but one run by somebody with deep pockets for people with just as much cash to splash. You should have seen it. People gambling away planets in a game of regicide. Anyway, so the Lord Captain wanted me to help her beat some guy. So I tell her, the chips won't land in your favor. You'll get a bad hand. Don't sit down at that table, your ladyship. But did she listen? Of course she didn't. If there's one thing she never lacked, it's stubbornness. So they sat down and the cards were dealt. I'm hovering around like I'm not involved, but I'm keeping my eye on things. And everything in my head keeps getting louder and louder. Anyway, it's a good thing I realized in time that my mind wasn't going haywire over a losing hand, but something else. I made some excuse to drag the Lord Captain up from the table and took her away from that place. And a few minutes later, the room where we'd been... It turned out some wise guy had the same bright idea to bring a pet psyker along with him. One of those ones who just scuttle around in Footfall's underbelly. And the psyker just freaked out, I guess. After all the commotion, people went to see what happened in the room. And they'd all gone for each other's throats. Literally. With teeth. And I think they completely detached that asteroid from Footfall and pushed it off into open space so it would head off toward the local star.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
Alright, Deer's kind of a freak. He's a little unstable. What is this guy doing? I've been watching this servitor. Like, what is he doing to these skulls? Like, what could you possibly be doing for, like, 10 minutes? Like, on a wall of skulls? What is he doing? What are you doing? Can I talk to him? No. High Factotum Janus Danrock, the corpulent man in lavish clothes, bows before you, not without difficulty. A servo skull whirs over his shoulder, while the fingers of his augmented hand drum against the sheaf of papers he is holding. And he regards you with attentive interest through the lens of his magnifying implant. Greetings, your lordship. Janus Danrock at your service. Remind me, what is it you do on my ship? As a high factotum, my duties encompass anything that might enrich you and your protectorate. I see to it that suppliers deliver all shipments on time, that our partners do not weasel out of their promises, and that all servants remember the Emperor's grace can only be earned through toil for the good of the von Valancius dynasty. I also make arrangements to ensure that our hold receives less than thorough inspections by port customs officers, and I find buyers for whatever you wish to sell. How did you come to serve the von Valancius dynasty? I come from Dargonus, your lordship. I have been a subject of your dynasty since birth, and have always strived to be of use to the great rogue trader. Alas, it was not my fate to be the primary heir of my own family, due to my being 15th in line for the title. So I decided not to stand in the way of those behind me in case they attempted to shorten the waiting list at my expense. Janus lets out almost a kindly chuckle. While my brothers and sisters schemed against one another, I studied the exact sciences and mastered bookkeeping, the greatest art of the Adeptus Administratum. I must admit, the accumulation of wealth, something one can control, is far more exciting than hunting, carousing, and other traditional amusements of my noble peers. What was it like working with Theodora? Oh, now that's a tricky question, your lordship. Do you ask it of everyone, knowing they risk losing their head should they let slip a careless remark about your predecessor? I shall put it thus. Working with Lady Theodora was never boring and always profitable. The Imperium has billions of subjects, but very few do what they love and what they are best suited for. I would say Lady Theodora was one of the fortunate ones. She was a model rogue trader, and she surrounded herself with those who excel at and loved her work. Hers was a rare talent indeed. I'd like to know more about your fellow crew members. Keeping tabs on your subordinates? A wise move. Tell me who interests you, and I shall endeavor to be as honest as possible. Janus's eyes light up. He's obviously eager to speak his mind. Tell me what you think of Seneschal Abelard Rosarian. Lady Theodora managed to do what even the Imperial Navy could not. Teach Master Warrenson Rosarian to carry out orders that he fundamentally disagrees with. I do not know what methods she used, but the result is impressive. Having said that, there is something else you need to know. Lord Captain, your Seneschal is capable of being something far greater than a mere conduit for your will. He possesses the cunning and experience to run the Protectorate passively whenever Lady Theodora was away. That really is saying something. Keep an eye on that old officer. I say, or alternatively turn him into a faithful ally. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Alright. What do you have to say about Voxmaster Vijdis Tolaman? Ah, yes, the Voidborn. You know, in my family, we use such creatures as quarry whenever we went hunting. Mutants are the bane of humanity, an unseen tumor that threatens to end us all, but I digress. In the brief time Tolaman has spent in post as Voxmaster, I have not noticed any significant flaws in her character, or anything that would make me question her professional qualities. Needless to say, she is very diligent, as is any Voidborn. Voidborn. That's a hard word. Voidborn. Seeking to earn their master's affection. I believe you can trust her in her skills and loyalty. I'd like to hear your opinion of Conrad Voigtver, the former Master of Whispers. I hope to never see him set foot aboard this vessel again, not even as a servitor. Although he would be able to do at least some good that way. Someone has to clean the latrines, after all. The factotum's bloated face grows stern. You give us all quite a fright on that ill-fated day, Lord Captain, and still, to speak candidly, I never enjoyed Master Voigtver's company. But I believed him to be a man who knew how to do his job. Regretfully, I was mistaken. It turned out Conrad lacked the most important quality for a Master of Whispers: unwavering loyalty to the rogue traitor. And his failing came to light in the most deplorable manner. We should discuss something else. I want to know more about the people who buy our plunder. Of course, Lord Captain. Who interests you exactly? We most often deal with the followers of St. Drusus, the explorators, or the Casabalica mission. Casabalica mission. Or, ever forgive us, the Fellowship of the Void. What did the followers of St. Drusus acquire from us? Drusians still hope to bring the Coronis expanse into the warm embrace of the faith, just as their flock hopes to receive the aid of the Drusian missionaries. Each crate of food, shipment of clothes, or box of medicine marked with your seal is a sign the rogue trader himself believes in the sect's future success. Reverend here. Holy crap. These names are hard. Hieronymus is the first among the Drusians and is often seen in Footfall's grand atrium. A gloomy fellow, but some almost believe him to be a saint. Tell me more about the Explorators. Members of the Explorator Cognizance fleet, which has been roaming the Coronis expanse for a good while now. Omnissiah knows what they are hoping to find, but their acolytes regularly show up on uninhabited worlds, seeking bits of sacred knowledge, tracking down mechanical relics, and sniffing out Xeno artifacts, if truth be told. Supposedly, they want to save the ignorant rabble from corruption. A tech priest named Opticon22 does business with us on the fleet's behalf. He can be found at the docks on Footfall. I'm interested in the Casabalica mission. Masters of the cold trade, immortal criminals, and notorious crooks to the last man. The mission is but one branch of this mafia gang that has taken root in the Calaxis sector. You can do business with them as long as you take the necessary precautions. They are led by Vladim? You think? I think it's Vladim Tokara, who recently appointed himself Liege of Footfall. Of course, he's a trusted ally of rogue trader Winterscale, but he will not refuse you another of the Emperor's anointed. If you wish to talk to Vladim, look for him in the Liege Palace on Footfall. What is the Fellowship of the Void? Generous emits a laugh like gurgle. A pompous name. Is that a laugh like gurgle?
A pompous name, is it not? In truth, they are a gang of pirates who are forever squabbling over loot and territory. However, some of their little flotillas need supplies, or can take awkward cargo off our hands without asking questions. Of course, there's always a risk that these scoundrels will change their mind and attempt to board us instead. But so far, our micro cannons have managed to keep them in line. They say Riza Calvaria speaks on the Fellowship's behalf. The Adeptus oh my god. Amasecus. Amasecus? The Adeptus Amasecus on Footfall is rumored to be her favorite haunt. What is that? Is it like a bar or something? Why are we giving away our spoils to these people in the first place? To profit from them, of course. Most of these things you will find during expeditions are complete junk to one such as yourself, but the less fortunate and affluent servants of the Emperor think them treasures, especially when they are bestowed by the great rogue trader himself. Drusian fanatics and pirate cutthroats, Kazbalaka dealers and explorators. None will refuse our help in these dark and trying times, and there may come a time when we shall be the ones requiring aid, and it would be beneficial to have allies willing to provide it. I suggest we change the subject. I wish to bolster my retinue with skilled fighters. Rest assured, there are people of the most outstanding talents among the thousands of your crew. I will contact the overseers at once. Okay. Oh, I can, recruit someone? What does this mean? I can get another Hikata? Another soldier, okay. Oh, can I make a character? What the heck? Oh, I can't create a new character, I guess. Oh, I can. I don't know. What? All right, let me save. My retinue and I are in need of training. Select a character to reset their progress. What does that mean? I don't want to reset their progress. No. Just have to... So is it like a... How many characters can I...
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Is this like a hireling? I don't know. Whale. All right, I think I gotta take a very small break, um, and get something to drink. My mouth is pretty parched, so I'll be right back, guys. Hey guys, I'm back. I don't know if you're still around, Pumpkin, but hey, doing pretty good. Okay. Let's talk to Argenta.
Rogue trader.
Sister Argenta looks tired. There are dark circles under her eyes, her hair is somewhat disheveled, and she moves like she's a little on edge. You said you have a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, Rogue trader.
I'd be interested to know what that request was. The accursed servants of... What's their voice like? The accursed servants of chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valencia's territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the rogue trader could meet with the orphans. I will meet with them, no formalities needed. These are the children and people who gave their lives for the Von Valencias' dynasty. My consideration is the least that they deserve. I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart. Dira Tlas is a sacred diviner in the service of rogue trader Von Valencias, daughter of a distant world and a product of... I already know all this. Years of using her sorcerer's powers have cost both Adira's mind and soul dearly. Clearly, from talking to her, she's lost her goddamn mind. With each passing day, her ability to keep the malignant forces under control weakens, and so the moment when the warp will devour the diviner without a trace creeps ever closer. Who knows if Adira will be able to come to terms with the inevitable, or if she will turn to other forbidden forces in search of salvation. The motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Our indefatigable sister has been keeping an eye on these pups. Abelard glances at the gathered children. It is hardly the Scala Progenium in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction. Magenta is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of the ship has appeared before you, the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe, by the Emperor's will. Greet your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House Von Valencias. Branley addressed the group. I, the rogue trader and lord captain of this ship, speak to you now. Your parents gave their lives for a just cause. It brought honor to the Von Valencias' banners, and those of the Imperium. I am proud of them and believe that you will become their worthy heirs.
Teenagers hang on your every word with bated breath. Only a few at the far end of the row seem sullen and not particularly impressed by your speech. One of the scowling visitors with a thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly, "So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in their dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches." Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flashes in her dark eyes, like she wants both to calm and scold him for his impudence. Address the group. If you have things to say, say them with. Don't really want to listen to this snot-nosed teenagers. If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen. The boy smiles grimly. It doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back and won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on this ship until we drop and die like our folks, or worse. Alright, I need to put a stop to this. This mutiny. This back-talking. I understand your grief and dismay. Your parents died. It's not an easy thing to go through. But they gave their lives for the truth, for the good of the whole ship, for the Imperium. Do not speak of their honorable fate with anger and disdain. You heard the rogue trader? His words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly, then catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with Von Valancius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the seneschal came prepared for any contingency. Argenta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the boy. Ooh, ancient and restive machine spirits dwell in the cogitators. Alright, let me talk to Argenta again.
Greetings.
Even in stillness, Sister Argenta radiates energy. With her dark eyes shining and a slight blush to her cheeks, she's reciting a prayer, and looks at you only once. She has spoken the final line. Tell me about the Adepta Sororitas.
Gladly. There are none more faithful to the God Emperor than my sisters. We fight against his enemies by the will of the Holy Ecclesiarchy. I beg your pardon, Rogue Trader. Here I am, talking about what every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about?
What order are you from?
Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, assigned to the Order's Pronatus. The Order's mission is vital and noble. The Sisters Pronatus protect great relics of the Imperium. We guard them, preserve them, escort them when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims to venerate. And we seek out the relics that have been lost. Neither a coven of heretics nor the most wicked Death World can deter Sisters Pronatus when their goal is to return a piece of the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the faithful.
You said you belong to the Calixian branch of your order. What brought you to the Coronis Expanse?
The Order sent me to Footfall. My undertaking was to assist the local priesthood of Drusians in caring for a sacred reliquary that had been there since the time of Pastor Mr. Wayne, the station's founder.
They say the Adepta Sororitas are the fiercest in their faith among the warriors of the Imperium. Is it true?
It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his wrath to heretics, mutants, and other enemies of humanity. We protect the faithful from the unholy and unhallowed. Sometimes with words, more often than not with a bolter.
Are all sisters truly as faultless as you say?
Even the novices of the Adepta Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy. Those who have taken the vows and become a full-fledged sister are the best of the best, tested by trials of body and spirit. Yes, there have been cases when a sister stumbled or showed weakness. But do not expect to hear a story of depravity or downfall from me. Each such occurrence is a great tragedy for us all. Light cannot bear the smallest speck of darkness within. And thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption. They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy tremble before her. For nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of fault and weakness. Wearing nothing but robes, no armor, eviscerator in hand, those sisters who have once faltered find repentance on the battlefield. Their lives are seldom long, but a death in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live with a shadow in one's soul.
Are there any other members of the Adepta Sororitas in the Coronis Expanse?
None that I'm aware of, but the Sisterhood's orders are many, and can operate independently of one another, sending their sisters wherever their presence is needed as deemed by the Ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path be blessed, my sisters perform their duty as we speak. I wish it were so. Even a single evening spent in joint prayer and training would bring me joy.
I have no more questions about the Sisterhood.
Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness.
Tell me about yourself.
About me? I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me?
How did you end up on Theodora's ship?
I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the pirate attack. That story is complicated. It just so happened that I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, while her crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I'd barely recovered from my wounds when the pirates struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations.
The archenemy is chaos, demons of chaos, so followers of like cultists of chaos cultists, basically. What happened to the people who wounded you? Did Theodora's men eliminate them?
Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more, and it's bound to happen someday.
You mentioned making a mistake.
It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to atone for them.
Where did this happen?
On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse. No one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard.
We could go to that planet and deal with the Chaos Worshippers.
The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valancius Protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now. Perhaps later, when the skies above our heads have cleared.
What was it like traveling on Theodora's ship?
I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the Medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistics systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional sister of battle aboard the ship. But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the pirates. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright.
Have any more questions? Thank you.
As you wish.
What is it that's keeping you in my retinue?
This ship was targeted by heretical pirates, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my sacred duty. Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to Footfall to protect its reliquary. But for now, I wish to remain a part of the Rogue Trader's crew.
I enjoy your company, Argenta. I hope that you remain in the crew and that this ship becomes your home.
Those are very courteous words, Rogue Trader. Thank you, both for your words and your hospitality.
She gives you another somewhat puzzled look. What does that mean? She didn't expect me to keep her around. Thank you for this conversation. Until next time. Alright, I think it's time to oh, let's talk to this guy. Revor. The tall man before you appears to be woven from tendons and muscle. Blue veins snake under his white, almost dove-colored skin, and his scalp and chin are covered in cropped white hair. His neck and shoulders are wrapped in wires that hint at the presence of neural connectors under his uniform. The officer's face seems to be twisted in a perpetual grimace of annoyance and anger, but he greets you with a respectful nod. Lord Captain.
Lord Captain. Master Helmsman Revor at your service.
You're Voidborn, are you not?
That I am, born into a helmsman clan in the wells of a charter's vessel. Studied the family trade until I was 15. Then my entire clan was butchered in a mutiny by lower hold scum. They spared the young'uns, of course. They did. Kids with implanted connectors make great navigational servitors. But I was having none of it. None of it. They weren't going to make a servitor out of me, so I escaped into the crawlways, and then I spent months picking them off, one after another.
Revor stops abruptly.
You got me talking up a storm. Anyway, yes, I avoid.
Finish your story, Revor.
Not much to tell. I cutted everyone I could get to, and then I fled upward into the middle decks. That's where the auger operators took me under their wing. They have apprentice helmsmen of their own up there, you see. Nobody asked me any questions, so I stayed. I grew up trying to get smarter, and then ended up a junior helmsman. A dozen years later, Danrock spotted me and lured me away. They tried a blighter.
I used to be an officer in the Imperial Navy, and I can say this with certainty. The best helmsmen come from the Voidborn. I'm glad to have you at the helm of my ship. Revor freezes, tensely staring you in the eye and clearly trying to discern if your words are meant as mockery. After a moment's pause, a muscle in his face twitches, then another. His cheeks spasm, his mouth twists, and you realize that Revor is unsuccessfully trying to remember how to smile.
Well, thank you, Captain. I won't let you tell.
Tell me about the Voidborn. Revor winces and rubs his temple. What does this guy look like? Oh, he's this guy.
Well, Captain, I mean no disrespect, but you'd better find someone with their neck for a conversation. Like Tollerman, the new Voxmaster. I ain't the talking type. I just get the ship where she needs to go. Best let folks stick to what they do best.
What can you tell me about the other officers?
Good for nothing wasters. That's what they are. Each and every one. Take Generous Denrock, the highborn weasel. He fawns over the officers, but some of the deals he makes will get him burned alive. He drags other people into his schemes, so they can't take the fall for him too. One of my junior helmsmen was found goods from footfalter for him, got caught by the seneschal, and ended up in the void hatch. Dunrock couldn't care less. Boxmaster, not at all like the last one. Void Restum is no better. She cut off half the Vox channels the day she took up her post. Said the Vox systems were damaged and then engineering has no contact with the other modules. But how am I supposed to steer the ship? Collect the cogs reports to power my mind?
You cut off half the Vox channels.
First Officer Werizian can't stand him. Like every Navy officer I met who doesn't know a thing
controlling a vessel in the void, but he puffs himself up all the time and throws his weight around. Me and him have had words a few times before he left me alone. Like the Emperor, Lady Theodora trusted me more than the Seneschal when it comes to handling the void ship. Then there's that woman, what's her name? Class. Lady Theodora brought her along wherever she went, and look what happened to her. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out it was that witch that delivered her to an early grave, just like countless souls before. I don't see why anyone would want that walking calamity on their ship, but some would disagree. They say she's friends with young Tollerman, you know. Well, at least she used to be.
Tell me, do you like anyone at all? Whoever looks perplexed.
What kind of question is that? I like you, and Lady Theodora before you. Where would I be if I'm making cracks about the rogue trader? I don't want to die just yet.
Let's take my leave.
Well, Captain.
Rivor acknowledges you with a nod and turns away. Okay, I think I got everyone, right? Talk to everybody. Let me see. The elderly seneschal does not show up, but the death of Theodora, whom he faithfully served for many years, shocked him. Abelard is willing to do anything to ensure that Theodora's successor becomes. Vast region of space and its this sector is composed of numerous star systems, many of which you will get a chance to visit. You'll find yourself scouring the void in search of routes leading to new uncharted systems, discovering more routes as you explore the expanse. What you see before you is the map of one such system. Each star system contains objects you can interact with. Such objects are marked as points of interest. Move your ship to a point of interest and click left mouse button on it to initiate the event or open the planet view. Okay, so this is where... Okay, this is the prison planet. Are we over here? So we're over here. Alright, so what is this? Is this the... You're right. Which needs a new navigator. One may be found on Novice Nobilite Station. Let's go there. That's the closest one, right? Lord Captain reporting. The heralds of the Navis Nobilite continue to maintain Vox silence, perhaps due to Urek 5 being off limits to visitors. We intercepted signals from the beacons drifting in the station's orbit. The demands are clear. You're told to turn the ship around immediately. We have also detected an accumulation of space debris near the station's dock. Presumably is the remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps this team Navis Nobilite House requires aid, and therefore cannot respond to our Vox transmission. Order the auger crew to scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The Vox remains silent for a while, but then you hear static in Vigdis's measured voice. The officers from the auger crew performed a full scan of the station, but the information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of the readings.
We were able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered and some fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station has not been abandoned. So the question remains, why are the esteemed navigators, heralds, ignoring us? Contact the station again. I will negotiate personally. The Vox relays a cadent sound of grinding gears and clicking tumblers. I am sorry, Lord Captain. The station does not reply, even after an official greeting by a rogue trader and the declaration of your intent to negotiate in person. Order the crew to commence docking with the station. Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening at the station, so you'll have to look for the esteemed navigators blind. Dock safely, and may the God Emperor light your path.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Bellicoscelio. A tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his weary face, and not just his own blood. Two jet-black, unblinking eyes are watching your every move, and the third one, the mark of a navigator's fate, is menacingly pulsing behind the lowered lid in the middle of his forehead. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Desist, brother. It was the Emperor's will that brought me to this abode. Navigator frowns. No one has the right to interrupt his will so freely, brother. But wait, I recognize your coat of arms. You must be a lord of the von Valancius' dynasty. Yes, I'm absolutely positive, in fact. And since fate has brought us such an important person to my abode, let me introduce myself. Before you stands Felix Christoph August, keeper of this station. So you did not come to offer support to the traitors. This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Uric V is a holy sanctum for House Urselio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say you are not on the guest list. What is happening on this station? Where did all these corpses come from? Betrayal, a most banal thing in the life of the nobility. Don't you think I was stabbed in the back by my closest friend, Theobald Arcelio, the second keeper of Uric V and my mentor? On his instruction, my own people sabotaged the generators, blew up the shuttles, and brutally massacred the loyal servants of my mistress. Most unforgivably, they just dared to take her prisoner. Greedy scum! I swear by the throne's light, their souls will perish in the darkness of the void. Felix falls silent for a few moments, then furiously slams the end of his staff into the floor. Madmen have captured Lady Cassia and are now torturing her upstairs while we are idly chatting down here. Help me rescue her or be gone, but waste no more of my precious time. What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask you for such a favor under different circumstances, and yet Felix takes his hand away from his ribcage, notices blood, and winces in pain. And yet Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't many people left, but my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness. But you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the mistress's chambers, you will need to remake a holy relic sanctified in the blood of Lady Arcelio herself. This is the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny. But even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. So how am I supposed to power the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence, and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. How do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient of sacred mechanisms will help to rebuild the rod. The tech priests ceaselessly perform the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirit would serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. Why should I help you? Whoops. You came to this station for a reason. House Urselio will not be able to help you until the current crisis is resolved. But if you aid us now, I promise we will reach an agreement that you will find satisfying, be it riches, influence, or the powers of our navigators. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? Never said the feat would be easy to accomplish. The path to the laboratory and the guard room is blocked by the very same madmen who took over the station. They will not negotiate and are not afraid of displeasing the Navis nobility or incurring the Emperor's wrath. They bow only to brute strength, something which I currently happen to lack. I guess that makes sense. So what have you decided, descendant of von Valancius' line? I still have questions concerning the situation on the station. Our idle chatter will not save Lady Cassia, but if you need to be sure of something before you can help, so be it. Tell me about your mistress. Regretfully, I'm not allowed to discuss my mistress, whether with her retinue or the outsiders. She will tell you about herself personally if she feels like it. That is, assuming she survives. I am begging you not to waste any more of our precious time, for it is running out. What makes you think your mistress is still alive? Navigator irritably brushes away a strand of bloodied hair. Trust me, I should know. Everything happened too quickly. There were dozens of reports of accidents, victims, and failing systems. But the only precious thing aboard this station is Lady Cassia's life. Everything else is futile, and it can be easily replenished. Why did you not respond to the messages from Brykad Minoris? I've already said Uric the Fifth is sacrosanct. Uric 5 is sacrosanct. It is the holy domain of the Navis Nobilite, and it is forbidden for commoners from the world below. We had hoped to solve the crisis on our own, but when the situation spiraled out of control, we could not establish contact because the traders had disabled our equipment. I will rescue your mistress, but in return I require that House Orselio sign a contract with my protectorate. Felix replies sounds curt and tired. So be it. Hurry, the mistress's safety is all that matters, but should you fail, our arrangement is finished.
Your seneschal is always there for you.
Right killing plan.
My ascension has only just begun. Intriguing. world trembles beneath my feet. I tread a path unexplored.
Oh, the irony.
Fate beckons me.
Look no further.
Let's seize the opportunity.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
A
Attention to
revelation
detail is the
was
key to
sent to
success.
me.
Duty prevails. Never doubt me. Embrace true power. The absurdity of your struggle amuses me.
Stand your ground!
the heretics. Emperor, protect the fallen.
They got dead already?
Victory is imminent. Indeed. At your beck and call. My ears are ringing.
Will do.
To the heretics!
I've suffered worse.
I'll do it.
One step closer.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
I need no guidance.
Cover me!
I will triumph. I shall repay your strike, shan't I?
Pain and duty go hand in hand. For the glory of the Imperium!
Follow my lead. I will do my duty.
Oh!
Reduced to dust. It will be done.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
They who discern the future own the battlefield. That is not my destiny. Not the Scryer's job. Anything else? Will do.
Doubt is for the weak. God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. I'll do it.
What the f-
High momentum.
Sow the seeds of discord. Ruin beckons.
I am his will made manifest. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
It's terrible.
Doubt is for the weak.
Got him, finally.
I'll do it.
One step closer.
Stop mocking me.
At your beck and call. What? You are target.
Alright, so I think I cleared all the bad guys over here. So I probably need to get over this way.
Victory is imminent.
But of course. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Amidst the carnage, I find purpose. I need no guidance.
My place is at the fore. At your beck and call.
What is this foreboding?
None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Intriguing.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows. Be strong. Greater trials lie ahead.
I have to go to the void ship. Okay.
There is a fervor in my soul.
Last gun, huh? Character wearing this armor will dodge 45% of average enemy attacks in this chapter. Turn 27%. Okay, so this one sucks. This flak chestplate kind of sucks.
My aspirations transcend humanity. The world trembles beneath my feet. I tread a path unexplored.
Intercepted conversations between security officers. Tremendous honor, yes, but this promotion will transfer the entire squad to the child's personal guard. By the God Emperor, well, you are a strapping lad. You'll probably make it for a cycle or 3. It has worn down better men than me. Why even is the point if your brains turn into mush? I may rip out my eyes like Amos did. At best, I'll just go bonkers like that little shit stain that keeps stealing our low. But what happened to that one? Threw himself out of a depressurized chamber because some voices told him to. Calm down. Keeper Felix said the squad will not have to serve the child for long. He even gave us a little leeway. Unlike the fish-eyed, be quiet. He might hear you. Be quiet, my here. Well, you know what I mean. He almost busted our heads because someone forgot to check the catering unit. We haven't let in a single outsider in over 10 years, but Keeper Theobald keeps finding things to fret over. Imagine the shrieking if he finds out Keeper Felix didn't make us inspect the hangar after Lord Winterscale's most recent visit. Throne forbid. I tried to steer clear of the squabbles amongst the highborn. Some of Keeper Felix orders make little sense. Like the last time he commanded that we cut off communications with Rykad and Norris for a while. Why would he do that? It looks like he grew tired of the Winterscale Scion's visits. Well, it's always a pleasure to aid Keeper Felix. That's right. If the highborn have grown tired of each other, let them deal with it. Library is full of treatises by the most distinguished scholars of the Imperium, from Astra Militarum tacticians to Mechanicus Genitors. Alright, interesting. Alright, well.
The world will bow.
Alright, well, I think I'm going to end it there for now. Pick this up next time. And then we'll explore more of this and uncover what actually happened on this station here. I think I'm getting the hang of it. This was a lot of exposition in this session, but next time should be interesting because we get to kind of explore the rest of the system. Kind of free to go wherever we want. So, all right. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you next time.